Had a quick chat with Pilkie before. 235 games for Rammy. Your first signing, who I think played in the very first game, didn't he?
Yeah, the first league game. I remember the first game we ever played was against Royton, do you remember?
Yeah.
And he scored a hat-trick, funnily enough, on a like a 9-a-side pitch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then, we played in that. I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's our biggest ever defeat as well. First game against Newcastle Town, I played in centre midfield with him.
Yeah.
You were bad, weren't you? That's Massey up front. James played right wing back, didn't he, your brother?
Yeah.
We've come a long way since then. But yeah, 235 appearances in
So it was a big shock for us. But speaking to Pilkie, he's obviously been thinking about it for a while. Did you have any inkling that he was just feeling a bit jaded and a bit worn out with it all? Or does it come as a shock to you?
It's sometimes an easy way out as a player. What is he now? Pushing 31. Played a lot of games for the club. He's just had a baby. Well, baby's 1 year old. And maybe it's just, he feels himself. He's been honest with him. Let's not beat behind the bush. Some of the stuff he's told us tonight why he's retired it's acceptable, really. Going into half-hearted tackles and doubting whether he wants to be played, before the game. And we can't, as good as a person Pilkie is, and he's been great for the club, we can't afford to be carrying people like that. So, honesty's best policy, and we've asked him, we want to keep him on board, whether it be help Glenn coaching and whatnot, take training and things like that. So he's going to have a sit down and think about what he wants to do.
Because I think one of his strengths is he's a very professional player, isn't he? And I mean, he said to me that he's giving it up simply because he can't commit that 100% that he needs to commit to Rammy. And he's just such a nice fella, isn't he?
Brilliant fella, but he comes from a good family as well. His dad's a really nice bloke as well. I'm sure he's had support of his mum and dad for his career. But you just get, sometimes you get like that. He's 31, I'm 30. We're not playing on the edge just like that. It happens. And he's finding it hard to recover after games as well. He's been honest. So
you said then, which didn't he? After games, he's starting to ache a little bit. Bloody hell, I was aching at 24 after games.
Yeah.
And he got a little bit emotional in front of the lads, giving a bit of a speech, if you will, in the changing room. And he said his mum got a bit upset before he left the house because that's it now. It's sort of a line crossed. Might never play football at a good level again, especially for us. Like he says he won't, unless he changes his mind. So it's an emotional moment for us, and he went through a few things, didn't he, with us about, like he just said, about tackles, and he was studying the 2-minute silence on Saturday, and thinking about it, and we don't want that affecting people's mindsets. Not just for football, but in general.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant lad. Come down with his dad tonight. We had a bit of a crack with him and a bit of a joke, and all the lads were gutted. All the lads gave him a bit of a round of applause, at the end of it, didn't he? And he was genuinely, very humble with it. He meant everything he was saying, and he just said, I don't want to play for another club, because we said, if he wants to go and sign for someone else, we don't do it that often, but we'd release him now. He could go and sign for everyone, and he gives that much loyalty and service. We owe that to him. But he just said, I don't want to play for anyone else, I want to be remembered here.
Pilkie is a bit special, like he says. We took him, he's our prodigy, Pilkie. We've built a squad round him, and there's no denying, he was quiet, and it was quite emotional really, because he demands respect, Pilkie, obviously with the person that he is. Always at training, model professional, and that's all it is. He's stuck it out with us for 6 years, and we obviously respect his honesty, and we've shook hands, and I'm not quite sure we'll see the back of Pilkie. I reckon he might have a couple of weeks out of football and realise what he's missing. He might not, but in my opinion, we know the person that he is. I reckon he could be back with us, at least involved with what we're doing.
Been a top player, keep repeating myself, been a top player, but more important that he's a great lad, a great person. He's a family man. Not very rarely come out for a beer with us in 6 years, but he's one of the boys, and as he's just said, then the lads look at him a bit like a dad.
He's a grown up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a man's man.
Cleans his boots as well, apparently.
Yeah, well, he's just like what Ben said about training, he's at the front of all the runs, running with Dom and Wiz, but even he's realised some of the other lads are starting to catch him up a little bit now, so...
Drinks Guinness as well.
Yeah, we don't like that.